GM Adrienne.
Good morning.
So I have an important question for you. Do you prefer us as Muppets, as ghiblified, or in this lovely 80s version?
Tough choice. I'm maybe partial to the 80s.
I'm loving the 80s. Oh my God. So we have a lot to talk about. We are earlier than we originally planned because Shane Mack had to reschedule. So it's just us today, but we have a lot of fun things to talk about. So we're going to get started. Everybody wake up, go recast things, go retweet things, and we'll see you back here in 40 seconds. Welcome to GM Farcaster, bringing you everything from breaking news to spicy memes to the deep lore shaping this vibrant digital community. More than just a show, GM Farcaster is your digital third space where the community connects, the stories unfold, and the culture thrives. Whether you're a daily caster or just dropping by, we've got the latest buzz to keep you plugged in. So grab your coffee and let's dive in with your hosts, Nanish Prof and Adrienne, for another episode of GM Farcaster. GM Farcaster. It is Thursday, March 27th, and you are here with Nanish Prof and Adrienne for 29 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day. And I am just tweeting this out. Yes, we're live talking Farcaster and ghiblify. Let me just tag Caitlin, my friend. Just 1 second.
What are you talking about?
I didn't tag her. Oh, we're going to get to that. You're going to have to wait a minute, but we are going to get to that in just 1 sec. Well, we're going to start with some actual Farcaster news. And then we're going to talk about all things ghiblify. It was a day. It was a crazy, crazy day. So I think you'll enjoy this. All right. So let's start with what you did last night. So you were in New York talking about GM Farcaster at the base meetup. Very cool. This was organized by Rachel. And there you guys are in a very cool looking gallery.
It was a super cool gallery called the Time to Be Happy Gallery. It's all timepieces. And
I love that.
You can just choose to be happy. It's time.
You can. It's true. You can. It's time. It's time to just choose to be happy. This reminds me, there's a similar gallery in Miami, in Wynwood. And it has those like clocks, but the art's like in the clock, the digital art's in the clock. And it's really cool.
It might be the same one.
Cool. I wonder.
I wonder.
Maybe it's the same people. Yeah.
I think it might be. It's very
cool. Travel. So tell me about how was your evening? What did you guys talk about?
Rachel's a great event producer.
Incredible.
She invited me the day before and I thought I was late, but no, it was like a total last minute thing she pulled together and it was kind of amazing. So she pulled together, it was a base meetup. She's really conscious about let's make sure we're not just talking to the same 3 people who are already here about all these new ideas. So it was how the whole concept was about the creator economy and on-chain tooling and how do we reach people who are new to on-chain and maybe people who haven't. I spoke about Farcaster. She had other people talking. There was someone who has a Wall Street career who kind of has pivoted.
Savannah. She was Women X Meta. Love her. Met her. She's amazing. Yep. Incredible.
And then she did a lot for Women's History Month. And we heard from her wife, Jen, I want to know if you're in the audience right now because you told me you were going to get a cup of coffee and join us.
Jen, you better be sporty. If you're in the audience, I expect you to comment. We're going to be calling you out later. Love Jen. So Jen came with Rachel. This is back a couple years ago when we did NFT NYC. Nouns did this big thing where we were on a boat going around the Statue of Liberty, and Jen was on that boat. And I swear to God, by the time she got the boat, I thought she was going to go drop, like, I think at that time nouns were like 50 ETH. She was like seriously wanting a noun. I was like, okay, chill. How about we start with a little noun instead? But she was like, she's just the best. She has a great energy. She's so fun. And she's like, she's played football, like full on, like real life
like
football.
tackle football.
Like tackle football. Yeah.
It was incredible.
Crazy.
Her story is incredible. And then we heard from Una, who is a performance artist. Do you know her?
I don't know Una.
Okay, she was phenomenal. It was really nice. Again, and it was like all talk. I wasn't even sure what to expect. I thought it was more meetup, but it was talks. Like it was all talks.
Nice.
People were super engaged. People asked questions. And I forget, you still forget that kind of the concept of on-chain creation and this new internet is new to people. So it was great. I gave a lecture.
So it sounded like
Farcaster.
there was like artists and other people in the room who weren't necessarily on chain. So what did you talk about when you talked about Farcaster?
I explained the attract extract life cycle of corporate networks.
Interesting.
And how everybody, like, getting a consensus from the room of like, how do people feel about social media? Like if you go just talk to people in life, oh, what are you using for social media? How do you feel about it? Like everyone has the same answer, which is like, it's such a chore.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it. It's like this necessary evil. And I was kind of reminding people how we felt when social media first came about. It was amazing. Like people loved it. Everyone was on it. We enjoyed it. And that's because the companies would attract you.
Rather than
they made it
extract
really
you.
great. And then as all the value comes from us, from people, right? Like if you're not posting or creating content, then there is no value. So we are creating all of the value, but we have no power, right? So if you don't like it, they don't have to listen to any one individual. They take all and the platforms take most of the value.
Mm-hmm.
And enter blockchain and its promise of open and permissionless and we talked about the rewards. Rachel was really just kind of pushing the narrative about how much tooling is available, how much opportunity there is. We're talking about airdrops and Warpcast rewards and why Farcaster is a better promise. Because even if Warpcast decides to go evil on us and extract from us, we can just move elsewhere without starting over. Like there's just so much more power that we have as users.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like we can just take our social graph with us. So if you're not getting your needs met on Warpcast per se, you can create your own client or go to a client that someone else has created, but still keep your audience. And I think that's important because we don't know what's going to happen.
And how much of property rights is a fundamental right that we assume we have in our country. Then people said, yes, there's eminent domain and government could take things away from you. But generally it's like,
that was Jen, wasn't it? She said that.
It was, she was like, but generally, like when you live, like that's kind of like this guarantee or promise that we get is like you can have ownership and how much how important that is to us, even just from a psychological perspective of this promise that you can own things in the real world, that you can own private property, and that just the analogy of we're spending more time in the digital space. What is the concept of ownership? And only blockchains, right? Like only blockchains can give you that actual ownership.
Yep.
And if we are, from a social media perspective, the ones creating all of the value for social media, like we should own our identity.
We should own a part of that. Yeah. Own your identity, own your data, all that kind of stuff. It's tricky. I think we're navigating a lot of that. Like it's not totally clear. You know what I mean? Like exactly who owns what still. IP rights are lost, insane. Like, I don't even know what.
Has anyone read the Warpcast terms of service when you sign up recently? We should do that.
No.
Feed it
We
into an
should.
LLM.
You
Let's
know what
get
I've
it.
done? You know what I've done in class before when I was teaching my law class? One of the assignments that I did was go through the Instagram terms of service.
Mm.
And it is really eye-opening to the students who use that every day that, oh, wait a minute, they can just take my stuff and do whatever they want with it. I'm like, yeah, you agree to
Yeah.
that. Like, and I said, and what happens if you dispute it? They're like, you just can't post on there. I'm like, exactly. Like, it's not like you can
Right.
negotiate
There's no
with
power.
Meta as to like, well, I don't really like this clause. Like, they don't
Mhm.
care.
Yeah, there's no redlining the contract with with
You're
Meta.
not negotiating with Zuck. Can we sit down? I have a problem with,
Yeah.
line
And I think
32.
when people when people kind of move from traditional social media to protocol-based ones or blockchain-based ones, I think one of the selling points is often like you own your content.
Yeah.
Not totally true.
Yeah. That's what I was just thinking. Like, there's
Content
still,
is public. It's
yeah.
like you're still putting it out there. Everybody copies your shit, right? Like it's
Yeah.
a public it doesn't mean you can't do your own copyright things, but what's copyright? That's still country specific. Like what is your
It's
like
very
who's
complicated right now. It is so complicated. It's really funny. And I've said this before too. Like, this is why you see so many lawyers in Web3. And it's not because they want to sue everybody, it's because it's so freaking interesting right now. A lot of
okay.
IP lawyers, because IP didn't change for hundreds of years. Like,
Mhm.
our IP rights, trademark, copyright, patent is one of the few things that's actually in the Constitution. And a lot of people don't realize that. Like, beyond our like basic rights, Bill of Rights, all that stuff, but like stuff that was in the articles, it's a very small document when you think about what
Yeah.
it does.
But you're talking
And
about
that
what
is,
jurisdiction?
yeah, like one of those
The
things is like is in there, but then that's only US. Then you have treaties around the world, but then you have, when you moved into the digital age, everything changed. Everything changed, and and we were caught up to a point, and now like it's with AI, it's even crazier. So we're in a very interesting moment in time where things are very much in flux, but there are still laws to contend with. We just don't know how it's all going to play out because things are
It's
moving
wild.
so fast. The law moves slow.
Look at our backgrounds.
Technology
Speaking of
moves fast.
IP.
We're just like one
Like
big, like giant copyright infringement right now. And so what happens? Do we, like, is Jim Henson going to reach out? No, they're going to reach out to OpenAI. Is severance? Or also then there's this thing that happens where it's like, is it good for then you get to CC0 and things like that in public stuff. And then you go into, does it help the brand to have
Mhm.
that like proliferation of their media? So does it bring attention? Does it, help? Do they want the memeing of it all? Because it can actually drive people to the content. So it
Mhm.
becomes very gray, very gray. It's messy. But yeah, you can mint. Yeah, that's a good point. You can mint it, but you could also mint copyright material, which happens all the time. And artists, I feel you, I really do. But also, I'm kind of having fun with the ghiblify and the Muppets.
Also, what does it mean to be original content, right? Everybody is kind of like forking someone else's idea that's like the history of humanity, which is like no one is like
And
born
then,
in a test
yeah.
tube without being influenced by like
And then you have
thousands of
fair
years.
use things. Like, this goes back to like Andy Warhol using Campbell's soup and things like that. Like, you have some artistic license involved as well with taking one thing and making it something new and different, and what's enough. And it's very complicated, but very cool that you were having these
Anyway, was not
conversations.
expecting to talk about this.
Anyway.
By the way, if you do like this
Anyway.
discussion and you're interested in,
Yeah.
if you have that, you just said that a lot of lawyers in this space, Splits published a recent manifesto about. Have you
I
read
didn't
it?
know
Read
that.
it?
No, I
I
had not
passed
seen
it
it.
a few weeks ago. They there's a post, but they did talk about just their point of view of why are they
Oh,
building the way they're building, but it was talking
yes, I did see
about
that.
smart contracts. Like,
Yes,
so we tend to focus on the financialization of cryptocurrency and
right.
about moving. But at the end of the day, what is blockchain really about? But it's making these strong agreements. And that is like the
Yeah.
legal layer for everything. And we don't really talk about that as much. So if you're interested in that, they wrote a good, I mean, it was a light piece, but it's
Yeah.
just like fundamentals. It was really good. So highly recommend that.
What's really funny is that's what attracted me to CryptoKitties in the first place and how I ended up in crypto. It was because I saw an article on, I believe it was CNBC, that said you can learn about smart contracts with these digital cats. And I went, what is a smart contract? And then I went down a rabbit hole and never came out. My first DAO was Constitution DAO. Like it was, it's like, so my brain is always somewhere in that vicinity. And that's
Me too,
what
but I didn't even know it was a DAO.
I know.
And I didn't. It was just a moment.
It really was just a moment. It was an event. It was an ephemeral DAO, but it lives on in infamy. But there's there's these pieces that are really interesting that will eventually change a lot of what we do now in the law. It just is going to take a lot of time, and it had to be made easier. It couldn't take a week to figure out. It can't take somebody a week to figure out how to put money on MetaMask. Because that's what it took me. Somebody with a pretty good intelligence, and it took me a week. Back in 2017, it's much easier now, but then that has other implications. So,
yes,
it's going to be fun for the next decade, maybe if we, survive. If the AI robots don't take us all over, but
it's so much fun.
It's
before this event, I went to Legal Week in New York City. By the way, I didn't go to Legal Week. Sorry, there's a thing called Legal Week. Legal Week.
Okay.
It's a kind of industry event conference for companies that are supporting the legal industry. So it's like a lot of like software companies supporting.
Okay.
And I met a few old colleagues of mine for a coffee. So I was hanging out.
That's why. Okay, that makes sense. That's what they were in town for. Got it.
But I didn't even realize it was Legal Week. It was just friends of mine in from out of town. So we met for a coffee. So I was hanging out. None of them, actually one was an attorney, but most of them are just kind of like SaaS executives. They're but they're there. And I asked them about blockchains. They're all implementing AI internally.
Yeah. They know nothing about blockchains.
And I was like, and what about blockchain? And no, that's it's too much of an outside. It's like, it's too much of a threat outside. It's like too much of an outsider technology for existing corporations to adopt. And it's not.
Give it time.
Anyway, sample size of 2 companies and 2 people at 2 companies. Anyway,
but that's, I think, quite accurate at the moment. I really do. But I think the ones who, you do see some other larger companies that have found ways to incorporate it, and that will continue to do so, like Salesforce, like other things. And then you'll see how blockchain interacts with AI, and we'll see what happens with that.
Paskin cast or tweet the announcement that Microsoft was developing an Ethereum E2 layer 2.
I missed that.
Okay. He casted like Microsoft announces a layer 2, and then I looked through the video. The video is 10 years old or 9 years old or whatever it was. Like it was at a Microsoft conference or industry event.
So I'm guessing they never did. Or so no.
So it's like, so when you say all these companies, so Salesforce is doing it, or but are they?
But then they don't really do anything. Exactly. I know. I don't know. Seemed like they were, but I think we'll see more in certain areas. Like real estate is prime for this. Like it's going to happen. But again, the law moves slow. The technology moves fast, and it takes time to catch up.
But what is the motivation for real estate companies to give away something when they previously are gatekeepers? Like
it's not. It's going to be by force. Yeah.
In New York City, you cannot buy a house without also purchasing title insurance.
I know.
They will not let you.
I know.
So there is that's a great job. So why would the title companies put themselves out of business?
They won't. Someone else is going to have to do it for them. It's going to be a startup that shows this is more efficient. But that's what I mean. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take time. It's not going to happen.
It comes from the outside. It doesn't come from the inside.
It's obviously ripe for that because there's so much inefficiency in that area. And I hate title companies. It's bottom line. I just want it to happen. Make it happen, people. Somebody make this happen. All right, we got to
Anyway.
move on. But I love that you went to that event because Rachel had reached out and said, hey, do you know anyone in New York who can come and talk about Farcaster? I can, but I'd rather somebody else and, who was a little more knowledgeable. And I just tagged you because I was like, I think she might be in the city that day.
I was. Rachel's amazing. And she's coming on the show next week. Thank you, Rachel. But she's, she's awesome. She's
filling
a really
in for
great
you.
event.
She's filling in for you.
By the way, Rachel asked, she's like, all right, Adrienne, just closing statement. If you're new to Farcaster, like, what should you do?
What'd you say?
I had literally the worst answer. So I basically
I guarantee you didn't say anything about GM Farcaster, did you?
First of all, I was like,
probably
I don't
had
even know.
to.
First of all, I said I don't know because it's like, who even knows? Because I'm not new. I handed the mic back, and then I was like, wait. And then I gave the whole reply more than cast, treat it like a social network, not social media.
We did
don't
a
be afraid
whole
to make
freaking series
mistakes.
on it.
Hand the mic back. 30 seconds goes by, and I was like, wait, give me the mic back. People have said GM Farcaster is a really good show for helping new people. I actually have a live stream podcast called GM Farcaster. You should watch that.
And then also we have Farcaster 101. Did you forget?
No. Yes.
Great. Awesome.
Don't send me out into the wild. This is
no, I'm sure you did amazing. I'm really excited. Rachel will be here next Wednesday, filling in for you. And also she has provided us with $good. So good token.
Yes.
And we're going to it's now, if you're collecting our podcast from now until next Wednesday, you can also claim yesterday I did it for 100,000 good. And also sending it out to the chatters. So if you were here with us yesterday chatting, check your wallets because I probably sent you some, or the day before. So you probably have some good waiting for you. And if you were here yesterday, you also have some ghiblify. We'll get to that in a moment. Moving on. Some other news before we get to the ghiblifying of it all. Account verifications, beta 2, verify your phone number and social accounts easily from settings. Verifications, we now support GitHub, Discord, and LinkedIn. Why? Just the last one. Why? Okay, fine. I haven't connected those three yet, but I probably will. Accounts with more verifications will be more likely to get airdrops, rewards, and boosts in the feed. I do see a lot of crankiness about this from folks who either don't have these things, which I hear you, or just don't want to verify them. And you don't have to. You really don't. But to go on with what V has to say here, how many verifications do I need? Has the scoring changed? Accounts with at least 3 verifications will be considered likely humans. This may change as we are still in beta. We may also add some qualifiers in the next weeks. For example, a Twitter account with less than 100 followers or less than 1 year old may not qualify towards the 3 items. Why do verifications matter? Developers building on Farcaster, including Warpcast, want to measure success by seeing how many real users they can acquire. QDAO. Farcaster's on-chain fee makes it harder to create fake profiles, but does not make it impossible. Spam labels are very useful in identifying users who are good casters and repliers, but they're not always the right way to think about valuable users. For example, if you're building Farville, you may be totally okay acquiring a user who lurks and plays a lot of games. So you shouldn't ignore everyone who doesn't get a perfect score on the spam labels. Verifications provide a third layer. They require some proof of work done via other networks, phone, social, etc., and are hard to reliably spoof. Developers can use verification, spam labels, and other tools to target users for their apps and measure how well they're doing. And also, they didn't say it here, but also airdrops. Thoughts on this? There was a lot of feelings I saw happening.
I understand the feelings.
I do too.
But it's like, sure, I think it's cool. From a Warpcast perspective, if you think about like what are they trying to build, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I don't have feelings. I think it's cool.
I haven't done all of the verifications yet, but I probably will. And I'm like, do I have a GitHub? I think I do for some reason. And I don't remember why, because I've never used it. Like, it's not going to have any like thing on it. I think I had created an account to do something on there, like, or look at something or whatever.
Right. And
But
then, by the way,
yeah.
so you can verify, and then app developers might say, okay, I can get people's
Yeah.
linked, so that's a check mark. But if I care about, like, well, I really only want to hit the developers or the developers who are contributing to
Right.
open source projects, like, then I can go into your GitHub and figure out
Yeah.
whether or not, you
But
just
also,
created a
you
GitHub
don't
too.
have to do any of that if you
So
don't want to. It's just that if you're a total lurker and you don't care, lurk away. You don't have to
lurk
do any of
away.
this. It's totally optional. And also, you can also, this is for Warpcast, right?
Of
Or is it for
course.
Farcaster? I think it's
no,
for
I'm sure
Warpcast.
this is
Yeah.
Warpcast.
So you can opportunity for another client.
Although it is in Farcaster updates channel, not Warpcast updates.
Yeah, I don't know.
If we're going to be specific.
Yeah, I think it's Warpcast though. I'm really do.
But I don't see why they may put it on the protocol level. They tend to
They might.
put things out Warpcast first, and then if there's adoption, if it's useful, they'll figure out how to add it to the
Right.
protocol. So this could, new things rarely go right to the protocol.
I was talking with somebody yesterday who's preparing an airdrop through Warpcast, and they were talking about the different types of verifications they were looking for and things like that. And I thought that was really interesting that they're working with Linda and the team to figure things out. And it was really interesting to see like what they were looking at. What's that?
Was it your friend Caitlin?
No, it was not Caitlin. Caitlin's not doing it.
Even
mine is a meme repository. Exactly. Like, maybe that's all you're using it for, and that's fine.
like, even
it's really about trying to figure out who is a real live human or a really useful bot, but not not something else.
Even for the bot that we're building, GMFC 101, it gets tagged all the time by the silly little like spammy repeat, like the copy paste accounts that just keep tagging it. I don't really care, but at some point, if I was worried about like controlling my API costs from like, I want it to be a useful bot, you can just put in like a little, like, I may add in a little, like, okay, your social score needs to be above -0. So I think it's really helpful. Like, I think if you look at these as just Lego pieces, you don't have to use them as a developer, but they're there for you. And then as a user, you don't have to use it. You should be able, like, you can be an anon on this platform.
Yeah.
You don't have to connect anything ever. And if you're really good, right? Like, if you are casting banger after banger after banger, or insightful cast after insightful cast, and people start to like get you and like you and know who you are, even if, like, when it comes time to airdrops, like, if people want to send you an airdrop, they will find a way, even if you haven't attached your LinkedIn. So it's just harder.
That's very true.
So,
that's very true. It's harder, but you're right. There are ways. There are ways to show your value. So, and good example of an anon who shows their value.
Totally.
Like, I don't want him left out of anything, because
and you'll do when you're like, if you're thoughtfully planning a launch, you're not just going to be like blindly, like, everyone who attached their LinkedIn is going to get, it's like, oh, well, we want to make sure we're hitting this community or this community. We'll do this. Plus, yes to crypto, plus King, our two favorite anons.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exceptions for people who we love. Yeah.
And Jimmy and Overalls, I think you were brand new. You are doing a great job. We love you. Keep at it. You're going to just be airdropped so many.
You're going to be winning so much. You're going to be saying, please stop with the winning.
You will miss the days when you could just show up at.
Jimmy, by the way, you'll be getting some airdrop from me today because you're in the chat. So there you go. How about that? How about them apples? Jimmy, no rules. All right, moving on. We got a few more things to talk about. But that was really interesting. This is from V. We're going to add the ability to add notes on transactions from Warplet. Would you like it to be, by the way, I love that we're continuing to use Warplet, and we've just moved right into that. It's over. It's settled. It's Warplet. Would you like it to be on-chain and public to everyone, off-chain and private to you and the recipient, only on Warpcast? Assume we can only ship one of these. What would you prefer? Would you rather it be on-chain or off-chain, Adrienne? And I don't know yet. I don't know.
Off-chain.
Off-chain?
Private to you and the
private?
recipient. Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure. I'm good with either. You can still put it, you can still, if you're doing something, well, I guess you can't in the Warplet. In a regular one, you can.
I think I'm partial to off-chain.
Okay. I'm scary. I'm not sure. I can't decide. I like my stuff on chain, but I'm fine with off chain. I don't know that I have a major preference there. I think I'm good with either.
Yeah, I could argue it either way.
It's just kind of like, do you keep your Venmos private or public? Mine are all private because who needs to see, like, when I, send my mom something, like nobody but her. And she won't even, and I always use emojis and she won't even understand what they mean. But yeah, I can see either. I would say probably what, but it'll be interesting to see what people think and all that. But anyway, moving on. Kill 5 Warpcast features: starter packs, channel notifications, warps, legacy frames, web app, all opinions my own. Now show me yours. And you did, Adrienne. And yours were: kill 5 Warpcast features. 1, starter packs, bring back the auto follow list and put me on top. Okay, I can get on board with that, but I do like the starter packs. But also, yeah, if we have to have one or the other, I'll take auto follow with me on it.
At the top. I want to be number 1, I decided.
Number 1. Number 1 only. Number 1 only. I'll take 2. I'm fine. Channel notifications. I didn't even know these existed. They're actually very helpful. When you pin something to a channel, you can hit notifications. The problem is people aren't looking at them, but they are there.
Separate tab.
It's in a separate tab.
So if you want to go to that tab, you will see it, but it doesn't.
Yeah. I would like the ability to say this channel, I'd like this to be in my priority notifications. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure that's
good.
Yeah, I'm sure that's difficult.
Low priority.
I would like to prioritize which channel notifications I'd like to see in my priority notifications, and the rest stay in channels because I follow a lot of channels. Warps, put them on chain and make them fluctuate in value. No. Just no. I don't care.
By the way, this is a joke cast. If anyone, this is a humorous cast. This is me being funny. You don't want warps on chain.
You have to explain the joke, Adrienne. Legacy frames, I roll. And web apps, sir, don't you dare. All opinions are my own. About horse facts, opinions. Now show me yours. And why would you kill legacy frames? First of all, horse facts. I like old school yoink better than I like on-chain yoink. So legacy frame. And web app, just stop.
Like, how would we do our show, actually?
Does he mean web app? Was there even one?
Oh, not the website.
Like, you're not going to kill the website. Was there a desktop app?
No, I think he's talking about the website. There was a desktop app. There was a Mac app. But I think he's talking about the.
If you're talking about the website, horse facts, we have a problem because you're talking about killing our show. Don't do that.
Did you pull what V said about horse facts?
I didn't. Can you grab it? And I'll move on, and then we'll circle back to it. This was from Pauline of Los Fomos. Choose wisely, Adrienne. Would you rather eat the same dish for the rest of your life, lose your sense of smell? To respond, just reply to this cast. If you want to ask someone else a spicy question, use the frame. How cute is this? I like this. So what did you answer? Here we go. Eat the same dish for the rest of my life, rather than lose your sense of smell. Easy. I fully lost my sense of smell when I had COVID the first time. And it was weird. It wasn't horrible. It was just weird. And that's how I figured out I had COVID for sure, because I was not feeling well, but I couldn't. This was like July 2020 and there was no tests, and it was a Yeah, shit show. It was the first time it had really hit Florida, all this stuff. So my boyfriend at the time's like, go smell some spices. And I was like, oh, good idea. And I went and I was like, I can't smell anything. And then I'm like, peanut butter, can't smell anything. I was just like taking stuff out of the cabinet. And I was like, this is freaking weird. This is really weird. So I agree. I could eat the same dish for the rest of my life. I don't
But
want to lose
also,
my
when
sense
you
of smell
lose your
again.
sense of smell, don't you
You
also
lose
lose
taste.
your sense of taste? So
Totally. Yeah, it's very weird. You can still taste some things, but most things you cannot. And it's very weird. And I agree. I agree with your answer. But I also, like, more importantly, this is a really cool little frame. So if you want to ask a question, get to know each other with spicy questions, let the spice flow. I love this. Very cute. This from Humpty. Oh, sorry. Did you want to say something else about that?
that was the
Apologies.
frame was created by JRF, Jacob,
Oh,
who is the
oh,
is the reigning king of vibe coding on Farcaster.
love it.
And it's a really cool frame, so go use it.
Go use it. Very cool. I did not know that part. Thank you for sharing. I just figured maybe it was them because it was spicy and they like the spicy things. So, but I didn't realize someone else made it. Very cool. This from Humpty. You can now collect the full series from On-Chain Creator Summit on pods. Discover what our panelists had to say about the emerging creator economy, from content discovery to on-chain virality. There's something for everyone, including me. So I'm in one of those panels. So this was the panel that we did at ETH Denver on at the Vibe check folks. It was really fun. This from Kazi. I don't fully understand this, but it looked cool. AI sales terminal.vercel.app, AI sales terminal.vercel.app, AI agent phone lead qualification, smart lead queue system, account-based battle cards connect to web analytics, KPI account value dashboard, sales leaderboard, and activity log. Comment if you want source code and design. It's live at launch. Just very interesting. Like, wow, this is kind of cool. If you're thinking about like old school sales stuff, interesting approach with the AI phone lead and qualification and that kind of stuff I can see where this is going, and it's just something very interesting. So cool stuff, Kazi. This from Garrett. He launched Higher Arrows using this meme that is behind you right now. The arrows are currently undergoing macro data refinement. Nice little severance thing here. But have you played the game?
No. How do you play?
Okay, hold on. Let me move this so you can see it. You mint. Okay. I played this too much. I was playing this like last night before I was going to sleep, and I didn't want to stop. So you connect your wallet, you buy NFTs, and then you're combining them. I don't know if it'll let me do it. Let me see if it'll let me do it. No, I'm not going to do it. I'll do it later. But you guys can try this. I thought maybe it was already logged in for me and you could see what I've already done. You evolve. So do you remember Checks by Jack Butcher?
No.
Okay. So yes, it's like Checks on speed. So if you know what Checks is, there was a way you essentially would burn a certain number of checks that had like whatever. I think they were 68 by 8 or something, 64. And then they would get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So that's what this essentially is, but it's with higher arrows. So you're combining two, you're burning one, you're keeping one. It's evolving one of those, and you're trying to get the green arrow. And if you get the green arrow, you win the prize pool. It's really fun and it's a little bit addicting, but it's a game. And all the funds, like as you mint, each mint contributes to the prize pool. And you just like are playing this little game, but it's really kind of fun. I haven't figured out like if combining this one and this one gives me more of a chance. I haven't figured out the strategy yet, but it's fun. It's a little addicting. So you've been warned.
Okay, I'll play.
It's fun though. It's cute. It's a cute little game.
And you're on the web. When you open frames on the mobile app,
yeah,
if you have your Warplet, you don't have to connect, right?
No,
it's like automatically connected.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't want to do this because I already have it going in my phone. So I'm already in the middle of it, and I don't know if it'll pick up where I left off, and I don't want to mess it up.
Okay.
Because I don't know if putting another wallet in there is going to mess anything up or anything. So yeah, it'll just connect for you. And it's like I think it's 0.008 to mint 8 of them. And then you're combining until you get down to 1 arrow. And if it's this green arrow and it's blinking or something, then you win. So it's interesting.
Is it a game of skill or luck?
I think it's luck is my guess, because I can't quite figure out, or it's, might be a skill issue on my part. So I might be saying luck because maybe I'm having a skill issue. Right. So I'm not sure. But there's not a whole lot of instruction. So you're really just kind of figuring it out as you go, and looking for like the little green arrows. So yeah, but it's kind of fun. Oops, I already showed you that. And then moving on. So we're going to start here. Oops, I got to move us back over here. This is from Dan. And then we're going to get into the ghiblify of it all. The $sign ghiblify of it all. Not financial advice. But I'm starting here because this actually has some Farcaster news imported into it. It's worth pointing out that trending on-chain notifications do surface things early in some cases. This morning, this was yesterday, we sent a notification around 8:15 a.m. PT about a new coin, ghiblify, created by Nounish Prop. I'm sorry. We had a bunch of people complain, that this notification was bad and or meant the coin had peaked. It was the trending notification that happened, I think right before we went on air, or during, I think while we were on air or something. Like I remember seeing it going, oh my God, what is happening? I think it was while we were on air. We had a bunch of people complain this notification was bad. However, hours later, a prominent celebrity on Twitter bought the asset via banker created on Farcaster, has a Twitter
component. He called it an asset.
Twitter bought the asset. It's not an asset. The asset via banker, and the price increased. What does this mean? First, not every notification will keep increasing in price afterwards. Many will go down in price. It does not mean that our algo is surfacing on-chain activity that many other people on Farcaster are doing. It does mean that our algo is surfacing on-chain activity that many other people on Farcaster are doing. All it's doing is, there was a notification that said like 145 Farcasters bought this coin, which is what was freaking me out.
In the last hour, right? Like it's
in the last hour. Yeah. It was because, additionally, we now surface additional information about coins like the creator, the date created, and the cast that created it when available. We're going to continue iterating on these notification thresholds to send what information to provide, because many people find them useful. If they bothered you, you're free to turn them off. And that was the part I wanted to make sure people were aware of. You can like mute things. You can turn off the notification for on-chain right in your settings. So if you don't want to hear about what people are doing on chain, like you don't want to hear about new tokens, you don't want to hear about NFTs, whatever, that's just not something you're here for. I'm mostly talking to the journalists who've been here for a minute, and they're just like, what is this? If that's not something you're interested in, you can turn it off in your settings, but you can also mute things. So even if you're like, I didn't care about that notification, but if I see ghiblify one more time, I'm going to lose my shit. Just mute it. You can mute it with the $sign. It will mute just that part. You can mute the word itself. All of these things are possible. So, use those notifications. Please don't mute me just for this. I'm sorry. But if you have to, I totally understand. But I think it's, worth noting, like just, mute it if you don't want it. But also, going back to this, it is kind of cool that this is where it was, like when the notification happened, was like, somewhere around here. And then it went and did crazy things throughout the day. This is just a small portion of this chart. I will show you the rest in a moment, or some of it. It was a crazy day. Absolutely bonkers. So let me get in. I have to switch to a whole different group of links. for the ghiblify of it all and just talk about my day, because we started it here, and like I had launched this thing maybe like an hour before the show, and like literally like during the show, maybe last 45 minutes, something like that. And during the show is when that notification came through, and I was like, oh my god, because and you can see the clip of me talking about this, and I'm going like this, like, and now it's trending. Um, because it's a little stressful when that happens, because then you start getting some really interesting notifications and stuff. But this was a really good, interesting point that Jake, who may or may not be Phil, we didn't quite get to the end of to the truth of that one. Jake said these are good proxies for
That was
how
weird.
market values
Jake is not
meme
Phil.
coins.
Wait, that was weird from Monday.
I know. I don't think they're the same person.
I think they're just friends.
I think so.
But what was he?
I don't know.
Phil said
I
something.
don't know. He's kind of
that-
teased that.
yeah.
I thought it was, yeah, just interesting. I have to go back and look at the interview I did with him when he wasn't on, and like listen to the voice, because I didn't pay attention at that time. Okay, so moving on. This was from Jake talking about the different meme coins that all dropped yesterday. So Ghibli went crazy. Everybody's ghiblifying everything. There was a drop on Solana of Ghibli. That was 18. They ended up right this when he's posting these were the market caps. They were all much higher, but basically at the same percentages. These are good proxies for how the market values meme coins on Solana versus base Twitter versus base Farcaster currently. And I thought this was interesting. So Ghibli was 18 million. Shibli was 600K. Ghiblify, which is the one I launched, was 200K at that time. Mostly coming from those buying from Farcaster, but it made its way. It made its way over to Twitter. But I think that is interesting, and it just still shows that Solana still has even though pump fund and a lot of these things have fallen off a little bit, there's still a huge degen market there, and there just isn't here. It's not that it isn't on Farcaster, it's that we tend to ape more responsibly. So you're not seeing the huge buys that you see in some of these other places, but also that means like you're probably going to have more measured losses as well on a lot of things. So there's a plus and minus to that. But anyway, so just for those who may have missed it, Toady posted something, a little ghiblified meme, and I then clanked it, and he was busy doing a podcast with Mac Brodowski, which I just think this is just funny. And he comes back, and I had sent him, like, I had said 10% of the supply was going to him. So this was Toady. I sat down this morning with Mac Brodowski from Kiwi to record an episode of Zero Pod, and it was a whole movie. Pod drops next Thursday. Zero Rights Media, links to subscribe in next cast. And I said, while he was doing this, I was launching Ghiblify and giving him 10% of the lock supply. I thought I was locking it for 30 days. And it turns out, no, it was, I'm looking for the one, checks notes, 364 more days to go. It was 365 days, the unlock date. So it's locked for, I thought it was 30 days. Like if you just say lock up the token, 10% of supply. I thought the default was 30. Apparently the default is 365 days unless you say 30, unless you say a certain time period. So that was just extra funny. Then I launched a channel because now I'm getting a lot of replies and notifications of people talking about this token and like making different suggestions. And I was like, okay, I think we just at least need a channel just for also yesterday when I was doing the show and trying to pull some of these memes just to show them. It's hard to find them. So I was like, here, people can just throw their ghiblified things in this channel. So created the channel, drop everything here. And I did put the token, linked it there. So if people wanted to find it, so they knew which one was the real one. And then, whoops. So that's the ghiblified channel. And then this was really funny. Then this starts going way up. I'm like, what are you people doing? So I sent my students like 1 million ghiblify each. I'm really curious to see if any of them sold or what they did with it. So that'll be interesting to see. They did learn how to swap the other night, so we'll see what happens. And then I had all these people going, dude, bro, you gotta update the decks. You gotta update the decks, bro. And I'm like, okay, first, sis. Second, I don't have to do
Can
anything.
you imagine? Please don't say it. What if people start calling us sis online? I will
Like,
kill
don't do that.
myself.
I know,
No.
but also stop calling me bro.
Stick it, bro.
No, don't call me bro. Just drop the bro. It's cleaner. Drop the bro. It's cleaner. But it was funny. So I'm like, okay, I've made some rewards off this crazy coin. I'll just go update the decks. And so I did, and I added, like, you can see the one you did is part of the banner with us in the podcast studio. So I just dropped, like, I made this into the banner. I added, like, the channel as the website. It was just funny. And then I'm like, I have to get back to work. Like, I've got to get back to work now. I still hadn't gotten the episode out. But that got done. And then it casually hits number 1 in the deck screener at 4-hour mark. It was really funny. So it was trending. So it hit, like, number 1 as the top coin at that moment for a little while. And it was, like, in there, like, between, like, first and third or something for a while. So we're not exactly sure why this happened next. We believe, based on my research, either it was just seen on the deck screener or it was seen on Twitter because, yes, Caitlyn Jenner follows Toady. So yeah, this happened. So Caitlyn Jenner posts, "Hey BankerBot, will you swap all my bonky for ghiblify on Base with this image?" Okay, so for those who don't know, Caitlyn Jenner, formerly known as Bruce Jenner, triathlete, not triathlete, pentathlete. No, decathlete. Decathlete. How do you say that? Won the Olympic gold medal. Decathlete. Won the gold medal for the decathlon back in, I don't know, the 70s, I think it was 1970s somewhere. I think. I can't remember the year. Anyway, has been trading base meme coins lately using Banker. Found Banker like a week ago and has been trading with Banker pretty much, maybe not a week ago. When did the Solana ad come out? It was right after that because they were trading. She was trading on Solana a lot and then she had launched a coin. So here's the thing. I don't know for sure. We know that her account is not hacked. It's not somebody who's hacked her account or anything. She, like, and you can tell by some of the other tweets, but I believe she must be having some help with all this. Like, there has to be, I'm guessing whoever was helping with the coin that she launched on Solana has been sort of helping with this part of it, but we don't know why. So she moved over to Base. She's using Banker and she bought ghiblify yesterday, swapped into it. Like, okay. It was just, like, bizarre. And by the way, I want to tell my mom about this just because it's really cool, but I don't even know how, where to start. Like, it's going to be just because I'm like, I think she'll get a kick out of this, but it's kind of hilarious. So that was like, all of a sudden everyone's hitting me up like, oh my God, how did this happen? I'm like, I don't know. So yeah. So there you go. Caitlyn Jenner.
Is she still holding?
I don't know. I don't know what her wallet is. I don't know.
We tracking that wallet?
I don't know, but I just, hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. She does tend to post her, like, Banker screen, her Banker terminal screen. Like, she's using the bank, like is accessing the Banker terminal screen. If you haven't looked at that yet, it's very cool. If you have the NFT, you'll get all kinds of benefits of it. So congrats deployer for, like, this whole thing, because it's pretty hilarious. Okay, and then we had this from from Christopher Ghibli Chain. Just Ghibli Chain. Okay. This was probably the funniest thing from Naomi, Average Chicks. I napped, woke up, and now everyone is a cartoon. Last time this happened was in 2021. We are so back. Keep these Gibby edits coming. He was my fave iCarly character. That was funny. That was so funny. This from Phil. Hold on. This from Phil. No, not from Phil. From you. This was the GM Arcadius. Why do I say? Oh, PJC. That's what it was. PJC. I was like, that not Phil. You two have such je ne sais quoi. It was like really cute. Look at our little.
I don't hate us as Muppets.
I don't either. I think that's my favorite edit right now. But although the 80s one, that literally was my hair for a while. Like, not even kidding. There's photo evidence of that you'll never see. This from Jake. This is also funny. So new bounty, $100 to create ghiblipunk NFT collection on Base and make them based on the OG collection. So really funny. And then I will add to this bounty $100 worth of ghiblify to this bounty. Moreover, I propose that other ghiblify owners add on as well, even just $1. By replying below, clearly ghiblipunk collection airdrop to all ghiblify owners would be good for the token by Nanish Prop, and my original bounty should be modified. The airdrop should go to all ghiblify holders, not just the holders of my ghiblipunks. Zoing. I guess that's what we're calling Zora coins now. So that would mean 3 punks per holder if airdrop now, more likely 1 to 2 per by tomorrow. I have no idea if this is all going to come together, but I found it hilarious. I added $100 to the bounty, and yeah, and I will also add maybe some ghiblify. I have no idea. There's lots of crazy things happening. There's also this where you can ghiblify your PFP. It doesn't work great for mine. It does weird things with, I'm not going to do it, but it does weird things with my the dog and stuff. It just doesn't, it didn't work great. For some people it worked really well. I think it depends on what your base NFT is. By the way, that's so funny, Dwight. So there's been some really funny ones, but I kind of like the punks in their ghiblified fashion. They're kind of cool. There we go. Then there was a few other ghiblified moments that I'm going to share. You can just ghiblify things. This is from Coinbase Wallet, and this is the Jesse, and I forget his name. I'm so sorry. Coinbase Wallet guy. Whoever you are, I forget your name. But they were talking on the couch. I just wanted this with the one with Dan joins them. Do you remember seeing this video?
Yeah.
And Dan joins them. I really wanted this, but with Dan joining on them would have been really funny. And here's the thread guy moment where Dan went in for the fist pump. This is actually not quite accurate because Dan goes in for the fist pump and then like thread guy like shakes his hand. And it was really funny. So yeah, something like that. So that was really funny. And this was actually, here's the original photo. There you go. That was it. The ghiblify version. So funny. This was hilarious. Hilarious. Can you find yourself?
No.
Neither could I.
Because you can't. You can't. Like when you're muppified, it's really hard to tell who's who. Am I in this picture? I think I was there that day.
This is exactly. So that's what Chris Corella said. LOL. Am I in this photo? And I was thinking the same exact thing. I looked at this and I go, I think I'm in this photo, and I could not find myself. This is Chris Corella, this purple one with the white t-shirt with the writing. This is me. I think this is you, if I remember correctly. And somewhere in here is the actual photo. Here we go. Whoops. Oh, it's not coming up big. It's coming up cropped. There is a full version of this, and I'm pretty sure, like that's me, that's you. I'm pretty sure you were down in the front. I think this one is you, and it actually kind of looks like you. So I'm pretty sure it's you. But there's another version of this where you can actually see the large photo, and you can tell that it is actually the crew. But it's so funny because I had no idea. The Muppetified version, I'm like, I have no idea. I think I'm in this photo. It's like that. It's like that Facebook meme. I think I'm in this photo and I don't like
Oh,
it.
and I don't like it.
But actually, I'm fine with it. I just don't know who I am. Yeah. And then this was really cute from Sandy Forward. First trip in the front facing pram, naturally in Ghibli creation as per trends these days. Chuck Stock, you would be proud. Farcade represent. And I just thought that was adorable with the baby and the Farcade shirt. Like the Farcade shirt held up
Yeah.
through the ghiblifying. So that was impressive. And then we have this. So now Ponder gets in on it. Best Farcaster theme, Ghibli. And I don't know if this is going to work. Hopefully it'll let me. 1 second, please. I think it'll let me do it. It's hard when I'm mini screen here. Oh, it's not letting me do it.
Yeah.
But it has like the different versions of these things in here, and it's really funny. So go check that out and pick your favorite. Long hair Dan is my favorite. The muppified long hair Dan is my favorite. So it's really funny though. And then this, lastly, you can canify with stories too. This is not War and Peace, by the way, not even close. But what she asked was rewrite War and Peace by Tolstoy in the tone of a brypto meme lore and only use 250 words. And it was really funny. I'm just trying to vibe. It's really pretty funny.
Yo,
So
it's like 1812 and Russia's getting
It's
wrecked by Napoleon. He's
it's like
flexing his empire.
flexing his empire, man. But our boy Pierre is like, I'm just trying to vibe. It's really funny. So yeah, there's a lot of funny things you can do. But also, I forgot to grab this, but it was a tweet. It wasn't a cast, but Sam Altman casted like, yeah, build this thing, spend 7.5 years building this thing that hopefully can like cure cancer. And you guys are ghiblifying memes of me. So
There's a lesson in there.
there's a lesson in there. Things you build will not be
Sure.
used in the way you expect. There's a lesson in there.
Well, I think, just even talking to people about how to approach social media
Yeah.
and trying to kind of plan when something is going to go off. Like, all right, like
Yeah.
you have you never have any idea, right? So the only thing you can do is just cast a lot,
That's all you
cast
could do.
mint, like whatever, just do it. And
Yeah.
and Castor said this about frames.
Yeah.
JC4P, who creates a
Yeah.
frame a day. But it's like the one frame that went viral was not necessarily the one he thought would. It's just,
No,
and you don't know,
it never
right?
is.
So
Yeah, you never know. And it's really, by the way, speaking of frames, I have to say the new Clanker frame, this is the first time I've done anything with it, is really, really good. So it is like when you look at like it has the admin thing built right in, so you can claim rewards or you can change who the rewards go to, the vaults there, all that stuff. You can see all the info about it, like what was vaulted, when the unlock date is. So freaking funny. It's a year away. So funny that I did that. And then different links to things. The chart, which looked much better over here. Maybe we just move it. Look how pretty.
oh, you're not sharing. Hold on. Wait.
Oh, I'm not sharing. Oh, whoops.
Sorry.
Whoops. Sorry, my bad. Oh, so yeah, I was like, look, the chart looks so much prettier than it does this morning. Let's go back over here in time when it was only up. Oh, so this is what I was sharing. There's an admin button you can do all your claiming and everything right in the frame. Super easy. Shows you how much the dev buy was, vaulted, unlock date, which I'm not even sure what this is. Like, I don't know. Maybe you can buy right off the bat now, which I didn't know when I did it. So I just went and bought afterwards. You can do buying right in here, connect your wallet. It tells you all the creator rewards. It tells you everything. Oh, I got to go make some. It tells you the cast that it was done on. So it gives you a lot of really good information. So great job on the frame. It's really nice looking. Things have changed. I haven't clanked in a very long time. So it was a fun experience. And then going back to here really quick, I wanted to just show you some of the things that are in this channel now. Oops, let me go back over here. By the way, I like that Yes to Crypto's front and center in my banner. So So the Ghiblify channel, people have been dropping things in here and they're hilarious. This was so funny, Kagusha. It's if you have spent any time dating on apps, and I did post-divorce had a couple moments in time where my phone looked like this. And I still have people in my phone that look like that. Where it's like first name and wherever it is that I met them, like Bumble, Araya. These are all dating apps, and it's just really funny. So if you know, like that was really funny. And then this was funny. These were the Fire Fits photos that she then ghiblified and made into a banner, like made into a whole thing. And it's super cute. So CXS, very cute. This one, theme of the day. Lots of Trump memes. We've got a lot of things happening here. Where's the other? Oh, this one. This was funny. Dan going crazy with the Goodwill Hunting meme. Where was the other? Oh, this one from Jake. These men built the Empire State Building in 410 days. Taking the old school photos. This is funny. These are the people responsible for the ghiblification of the internet. If you don't know what this photo is, this is Sam Altman and team from OpenAI. He's the only one left. I think the rest of them have all left. But this is like a famous photo that was circulating, especially when there was a whole drama that was going on. The punks. Of course, we have to have this. Ghiblified. I mean, come on. Everything's Ghibli.
Oh, everything's computer.
Yep. Kate, please stop making Ghibli pics if you don't even listen to their music. Very funny. Very funny. And a few others. This was really funny. This is the recent Saratoga Springs meme video, and this is your morning routine. All right. That's enough of that. It'll all be over by the weekend. Just, hang in there.
It's amazing. Yes, we will speed run this. So I'm shocked we're even still talking about it, but I feel like it
has a little bit of a hold.
Yeah, I think we'll see it through today, by maybe a little bit tomorrow. By Monday, we will not be talking about Ghibli.
We have these moments. They happen. They pop. They go away. And
we'll probably talk about it in a year from now when Tony unlocks his Ghiblify.
Tony unlocks his 10% unlock.
We should get him on the show and we can unlock it live. We can do a live unlocking.
We totally should. That would be really funny. It would be real. I was like, you know what? Maybe it'll be a meme in itself that it's locked up for this long. Because I mean, he and I were going back and forth. I was just like, you got to get to work. He's like, thanks for the full-time job. I'm like, you're welcome. And I also kept sending him, because when you're claiming rewards, you're getting a lot of that in the token. So I just kept sending him, I sent him like half a billion. Like, here you go. Do with it what you want. I sent you 100 million. I don't even know if you noticed.
I did.
Yeah. So you're like, I couldn't get any. I'm like, here you go.
Yeah.
I sent all of y'all in the chat yesterday. I think I sent y'all $1 million each. I sent I'm sending a lot out.
During the show, when you said I sent some to my students, I wonder if any of them did anything with it. I don't know if you saw, but I picked up my phone and I swapped a little just because.
Good.
So that
you should.
Because I was like, I feel like I'm your student. And I'm like, oh no, she wanted me to swap some of this. I have to do this quick before the teacher checks my assignment. So I
didn't care.
Literally in the last half hour I did it. So I swapped a little, kept most of it. Yay. Fun.
Because I'm not comfortable having this large of a bag, because I don't want anybody. I'm not going to sell it. I'll probably burn a bunch. I'm going to give away more today. This is going to be over very quickly. So I'm just kind of like distributing. You guys, if you've been in this chat and you've said anything,
hear me out.
You're going to get some. Yeah.
Hear me out. Sell some of it and then just put it into GM Farcaster for Farcon.
I feel uncomfortable selling some of it.
Fine.
Because.
So then you're laundering it. You're sending it to me and then I'm going to sell it. And then.
Sure.
Like,
I don't, I mean, because
let's be intellectually honest here.
I'm just, no, just like you guys do
All
whatever
right,
you want with it.
I'm
Like
gonna throw a
really.
party at Farcon, y'all,
Okay, y'all, let's do it.
with all of my ghiblify.
I've also
I
earned fees in WETH,
I
in wrapped ETH. So I
I
don't
know.
feel like a strong desire to sell any. Like
I
it's
think that's totally legitimate.
if it goes crazy today or something, I might. But unless it hits like a parabolic level, which it's not going to. Let's be clear. But if it like really went crazy and where I could sell something, I could sell an ETH a bit or something and it's not going to kill the chart, I would, but I'm not going to do that. And it's just not worth it. I don't want to hurt anybody's bags. It's just not my jam. But yes, you should take profit. I hope some of you did when those candles went way up. Like, I hope you did. I really do. Because I don't want anybody to lose money on this crazy thing. So that's where I'm at.
I also hope you only put in just a little bit so that you
Yes.
could play with.
Like if you put $10 in, $20 in, and you doubled your money and you got out, congratulations. That's what you should do. Something like that. I bought 0.01 myself, like when I first did it. And it like at one point, I don't know, what was it at? Like it was like at a 5, 6, like at 8x.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, okay. So if anybody did that, I hope you sold when it hit that point. I really do. I don't know if it'll get back there again. It might, because you never know. Because people are crazy.
Because the internet's so weird. People are so weird.
It's so weird.
And it's like you can't predict anything. You can't see into the future. Very easy to look backwards. Very, very easy to be like, that's what happened.
That's when I should have sold.
That's going to happen.
It's very easy to look back and go, that's when I should have sold. So just should have sold it. But have fun with it. But also I am enjoying the ghiblified things. Like, so the art, whatever. If you're doing something, especially like people's like family photos, like that one by Sandy Forward with the baby in the carriage is freaking adorable. Like so post things like that. If you're doing things like that, I'm probably going to throw some ghiblify at you in a little while today. So but make it cute. Don't just steal other people's stuff.
Ghiblify took over the internet. Like, so one of those rare days where like Farcaster wasn't that different than Twitter.
Yeah. People were coming over here going, I'm trying to hide from Ghiblify. And we're like, sorry.
Sorry.
No.
But can we just say how cute it was to see Dan? I made fun of him on the show yesterday because I was like, oh my God, like someone check on him. Like take his phone from him. What is he even doing? He just continued throughout the entire day. And
the Farcaster,
you could see though how much fun he was having. That's amazing. I didn't know that. Who's in charge? That's Woj. That's definitely Woj, right? Like is Woj in charge of the Farcaster account's trading activities?
I don't think so. I think it's Dan. No, it's Dan.
Oh, Dan.
It's Dan.
But anyway, Dan had so much fun yesterday on Farcaster. You could see he was having fun.
Yes.
And I love those days. Like that reminded me of like, I don't know, early days, like when weird things would happen, the mole. Yeah. So I really like to see Dan have fun.
It was really fun. Like it was a fun thing. It was a fun time. It'll continue a little bit today, but most people are going to be over it because it's a lot. But every once in a while you'll have something that's unique and different and it'll be fun. And we'll enjoy it. And it'll be a moment. I was
home last night and I was ghiblifying everything and I did want to cast them all and I couldn't. I was like,
it's too much.
The world doesn't see. I can just have fun on my own without telling everybody.
But if it's really cute, you can also share them. I was trying to ghiblify the podcast from yesterday, and I was struggling to get it to look good because our backgrounds were already ghiblified. So it was like, no, sorry, you can't. I broke it. I'm gonna see if I can find it. But it eventually worked, but it was a struggle. I was struggling to get it to work.
Has anyone tried giving ChatGPT a ghiblified image and asked it to deghiblify?
Ooh, no.
I'm gonna try that right now. I'm gonna see if
you
that
works.
It.
But it finally came out okay. You look like you're wearing overalls. I'm wearing a shirt that says podcast. It still doesn't do words well. But it was fun because I eventually had to prompt it to just say, leave the background alone. It's fine. Don't touch the background. Just do the people in the front. And then like it turned me into Nourish Prof or something like that. So it never gets words right. It never gets noggles right
Because
either.
nourish is a word, but nowish it doesn't.
It isn't a word, no.
Apparently,
and
there's no
also the
Farcaster
noggles,
either. It was
yeah.
Arcadius. Arcadius is the
Jim,
word you go with?
Jim Arcadius, yeah.
Yeah.
GYM too. It was Jim, like we were wearing a shirt from a gym. So Jim Arcadius. All right. With that, everyone, it's been really fun. Hope you're having fun on the internet. We do not have a show tomorrow. This was today's Friday show, so happy Friday. And we will be back on Monday. And who is our guest again on Monday?
Amelie.
Amelie.
Amelie, who we met at Base Camp last summer. She is building, I want to say, I think it's Alexandria Books. It is on-chain publishing. I had a really great conversation with her at Base Camp, and really like she was working on Reconnected. Just wanted to bring her on to chat about what she's building. So she'll be on Monday. I will be skiing the rest of the week.
She's going to be gone. And then Wednesday we have Rachel coming on. Rachel Wilkins is going to be my guest co-host on Wednesday. And then Friday we're not going to do a show, a GM Farcast show. We're only going to do Farcaster Fridays poker in the evening. And that'll be when we talk about Farcaster news. And this Friday, tomorrow, we don't have a show, but we do have the last Lil Nouns Poker championship game. So those who have won the poker as we've been going along for the past 7 weeks, they are going to be playing in tomorrow night's game for a little bit larger prize of 200 USDC and a Lil Noun. So it's going to be fun. So that's going to be tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then Monday we'll be back for our regular show. And that is are we later or regular
Monday,
time?
normal time.
Monday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Wednesday will be, I think that one's also 8:30 a.m. Eastern. I'm not even sure. I got to double check with Rachel, but I think it is. Yeah, it is. And then next Friday, 7 p.m. for Farcaster Fridays Poker. And with that, everybody, anything else, Adrienne, before we call it?
No, have a great long weekend, everyone. Have fun. Keep ghiblifying. As we're talking,
not everyone has a long weekend. We're just just Adrienne.
Okay. I mean, you're not going to see us. There's no GM Farcaster, so everybody gets a long weekend. I'm off. I'm doing a little travel. And if you're on YouTube and you're not subscribed already, we appreciate if you subscribe. It
just
hit
that
a ton.
Hit that button, would you? And also sending you out some ghiblify if you're in the chat. Thanks for chatting with us. And with that, everyone, we're going to say bye-bye.